Yeah, that's how I felt too. I think you kind of nailed it again, Jay. You're nailing it this episode. I think
doing great. Mike's back. Yeah, Mike's back. Mark Crombo Weeps. My name's Cole. His name's Mike. His name is Jay. We like anime, and this is episode 177 of AniPro. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen. I said it. Mike is back.
Hey, I'm here.
He just flew in.
At least.
He just flew in, and boy, are his arms tired.
Oh, he said the thing.
Yeah.
He said the thing.
So,
Guy. Get a load of this guy.
So it's 177. We're doing our review of the hit manga Mono. We're also going to talk about settings in anime, different settings, like, you know, where things take place.
I thought it was table settings. Okay, I'll adjust my notes accordingly.
Yeah, this will be an interesting episode then.
Okay.
Of course, we're going to do all of that. Before we do any of that, subscribe, leave a comment, all of that good stuff. You know, you've watched YouTube videos before. We just really appreciate the feedback. And of course, Jay, Mike, how's it going? Mike, how's life?
Oh God, life is very, 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 very good. Great, it's a beautiful thing. It will be even gooder in like 2 days when I'm not jet lagged, because I embarked on my journey home from the land of Japan. I said goodbye to the land of Japan, and I came. I got on my flight and I took off at 6:30 p.m. in Japan time. Okay,
Japan time.
And then I flew 10 hours, and then I got on another flight for a couple hours, and I landed in our hometown, our home prairie town of Winnipeg, and I landed at 5:30.
Oh,
figure that one out.
Okay, wait, hold on.
I landed an hour before I took off. Same day.
Carry the two.
Yeah. But that results,
Okay.
it actually, it's funny because like basically what it worked out to is like I woke up that morning, yesterday, and then I proceeded to have like a 20, I think it was like, it must have been like a 30-hour day I had. But it was like technically when I went to bed, still the same day. It was just like a very surreal, weird day, and it resulted in me being quite out of things and sleepy today. So that's I was in the grocery store right before, so basically right before we started recording, I went grocery shopping, and then while I was grocery shopping, we had a discussion about when we'd record. then I'm like, cool, okay, we got this solidified. I went for a nap.
Yeah.
And then I woke up and it was like the classic, like, oh God, I'm late for work, because these boys were in the studio waiting for me because they said, oh, okay, yeah, we'll record at like this time, and I'm like, I did, yeah. Anyway,
in our defense, we said, are we recording at the normal time? Yeah, sounds good. And then Mike said, yes, sounds good. I wouldn't mind recording a little bit earlier. And then Mike went,
yeah.
And then Jay and I were like, perfect, sounds good. Let's record a little bit earlier. And
a half hour later, which is like actually a reasonable amount of time delay, actually. And I don't blame you guys at all. It was just a funny way that it all worked out. You kind of went AWOL for a little bit, and I figured, he's probably asleep.
Conked out, yeah.
And then, I'm glad that you did wake up and say,
yes.
Oh, yes, I acknowledge this, and just give me a few minutes.
Because when I went down for my nap, it was, I think, 3 a.m. in Japan. So my body is like, what? My body is like, what the hell is happening right now? So it's very confusing. It's, by the way, even more confusing for a baby. So just that's a whole other thing too.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, I was in a grocery store trying to grocery shop, and just like, my brain is just not firing on even like half the amount of cylinders right now, because it just doesn't know what the hell's going on. I was trying to like figure out what I was looking at the cheese. I'm looking at the cheese. I'm trying to figure out like which cheese I wanted to buy. And like, it was like the packages were written in like German or something. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. I don't know.
You
what
see
any
something
of
for
this is.
$26 and you're like, wow, 26
What a
yen.
deal.
That's like nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, this block of tofu sure is orange.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
It's crazy. But I don't want to take up the whole episode of my Japan talk and just making you guys listen to that. So I'm going to move on to the next one. If you do want to listen to that, that's what this upcoming bonus is going to be all about. So check out the Patreon.
Mike will. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Mike will make us listen to us.
Yes, that's my plan. It's like I'm going to just selfishly take up the whole episode. Cole and Jay you probably don't even actually have to come, honestly. Like if you don't want to. But
I'm going to come.
I'll be there.
I'm going to come.
Yeah.
Do not come.
Gross.
I'm going to come.
Anyway, how do I transition? Oh yeah, Jay, what's on your mind?
Hey,
yeah.
Long time no see, Mike. Happy to have you back.
Thank you.
While you were gone, I started reading. I got back into a manga. I got back into Go Loser Ranger. Been catching back up on that. And I think where I left off and got back into it is where season 2 is picking up. I don't remember.
Okay. It's
been a while since I finished season 1, so.
Season 1 ended where there's like this big they kind of find out that like the things they thought were dead are not. It's kind of the semi spoilery way, because like one of them's like still around and he like does some stuff and then
so yeah, maybe not like in its entirety unless it's rushed, but like what I read will probably like start this season. And so far what's been going on in Go Loser Ranger has been really, really good. Mike, have you read it? Or like,
I have not read any of it, but I watched the whole first season and I really enjoyed it.
Okay. So like the illusions that were given in season 1 about these guys being not gone, kind of like that kind of gets paid off a little bit later. And like it's kind of firing at all cylinders at this point. And just so much is being revealed and so many things are going nuts, and it's just kind of crazy to read.
Oh, that's nice.
So
I love that when like a story like hits its like it sets up everything in a good way, and like you're not bored during the setup, but then like it hits its stride and it can really like make stuff happen with what it's set up. And
yeah. Like the villain of the most recent arc is so cool.
Oh yeah. What do you like about him? Give me your
like,
quick Jay's
so
notes
his
on
whole
him.
thing is like he's a big fan of the monsters, like of the bad guys in the Ranger monster fight. So like his whole thing is like he's fighting for like equality between the humans and the monsters, but like kind of in a like monster leaning way.
Okay.
So like he's not exactly a good guy because he still like kind of attacks humans.
Okay.
So like it's just like a very interesting like black and white look at it, and the fact and the main character is kind of like the gray in it all.
Okay.
And I think that's interesting. And also like he gets this ridiculous power set that's just so funny because like he literally becomes the kid on the playground that just makes up new powers as it goes along.
Oh, that's sweet.
But like that's his whole thing.
I like Go Loser Ranger because it's like, how do I explain this? Like it's not it's like still a Power Rangers thing. Like it's still like a super. Is it Super Sentai? I always mix this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Super Sentai. Okay. It's always like still a Super Sentai thing where it's like goofy and silly, but it's like not afraid to do like weird stuff that like it normally wouldn't do. And I think that's just, it's cool. It's like it's doing two things at once, and it's kind of subverting its own genre a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
If you want to use that old trope.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, this most recent arc has been really cool, and what I've just gotten into that I think is still ongoing in the manga, is also really cool. So, if you liked the first season of Go Loser Ranger, it just keeps getting better.
Yeah, I've heard people say that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Is the way I'll put it.
I really want to check
up
out
from
season
here.
2.
Yeah. It only goes up from here. It only gets better from here, Jay.
It only gets better from here because it only gets better Now that Cole's about to tell us what's on his mind and what's been going on with him.
Ooh, it's my turn.
moment
In
Cole's been
the
waiting
shortest obsession of Cole's life, my Elden Ring playthrough is
R.I.P.
I think I'm done with it for a little bit.
Just fizzled.
Yeah, I got.
I don't even know about this obsession.
Well,
That's how
Yeah,
short
we
it
talked about it
was.
last
Exactly.
week. It's been so short that Mike didn't even get to hear about it.
Jump back in, kind of played a bit more. I got up to the mountaintops of the giants, and then I was like, now what do I do? I know. I'll play Gran Turismo now, and I've been playing Gran Turismo.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Quite the difference in gameplay.
Still kind of a hard game, though, honestly.
Kind of. But I mean,
I
like,
find Gran Turismo and those simulator, like the actual true simulator racing games, actually pretty tough. They're pretty tough.
yeah. I mean, yeah, the physics are a little like, why am I going through this corner so slow? Because in real life, if you went any faster than this, your car would also go flying.
Yeah, this is a simulator. This is what you have to do in real life.
This is what would actually happen if you were driving around.
So yeah, I've been playing Gran Turismo a little bit. Still thinking about Elden Ring. Like, there's still the desire to go back in because, like, you know, my character, he's strong now, but scary game. Today, went and voted.
Oh yes, I gotta go do that. I'm not gonna do that today. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, our advanced polls are open. Yeah, our advanced polls are open. So you're probably thinking, how did you vote, Cole? Well, I have my ways. I have my connections, and my connections are the same ones that everybody in this country has, which is advanced polling. So I went and did that, and then I came home, and then I played some Gran Turismo, and then we waited for Mike to come.
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah,
I've arrived.
Yeah. No, nothing really crazy, nothing really new here in the land of Cole. We'll see how long this obsession lasts, though. Maybe I'm growing up a little bit. Maybe I'm growing up, and my weird obsessions don't last as long.
Maybe Cole's gone out of the phase.
Yeah, maybe you're out of the phase. That's I like that.
Yeah. 33 years of the phase is finally done. Until next time. Yeah, I don't know, man. We're just vibing. We're just chilling, you know.
Yeah. It's a long weekend this weekend. Happy Easter, guys.
It is.
Yeah,
Happy Easter.
It's a long weekend.
It's not Easter for you guys anymore, but happy Easter too.
Happy Easter. Happy post Easter.
Happy
delayed Easter.
Whatever else.
I hope you ate good food. And
let me tell you, I love Japanese food. I love Asian food in general. I am ready for my Easter feast. I am
just ready for some.
Your feaster.
Yeah.
Your feaster.
Yes, I'm ready for my feaster.
Yeah.
Meatballs, gravy, turkey, bring it on, brother.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think I'm getting a feaster this year, though. My one dinner I'm going to is a taco bar, which is like the most. Oh. Yeah. I'm fine.
Normally, I'm totally cool with that. But like this specific time, like I'm still like coming off of eating like sushi and all that stuff, just like every day, constantly. I'm ready. My body is ready for mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah, you need some potatoes. Yeah,
you need some hearty food.
Yeah, I need some very like Canadian, like let's go.
Need something that'll stick to your ribs, you know.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I had my dinner last weekend.
Yeah.
So like it's already all done, and there was a lot of good food, and I wish I got to have that again.
Well.
You
time to celebrate Easter.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll just celebrate everything. Just so I can.
Yeah.
I don't believe in any of the reasons behind the stuff. I just like the days.
Food.
I like the holidays. Yeah.
It's a vibe based thing that we're going for here. Speaking of vibes, you know what causes vibes?
What's that?
Settings.
Oh,
settings in anime. Very crucial to like how you feel about an anime. The setting that it takes place in.
That's why we always have the trope that we always drop of, like the the setting of this show is really like a character, right?
Because
it's
like
like
character.
it's super important all the time. Is the setting of something like it really a good anime or good anything really. A good story needs a good setting. With a bad setting, story doesn't work.
Yeah. Unless it does.
Unless it does.
I don't know that it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't think of one where the setting sucks. Like you're not interested in the world at all, but it's a good story.
Yeah.
I mean, Evangelion's set in Japan, but like,
that's
but it's
cool.
like,
trust me, I was there 2 weeks. It's a cool setting.
but it's like post-apocalyptic Japan as well.
Yeah,
too.
but it's also
real
got,
life
like,
is a
its
cool setting.
urban aspects to it. Like Shinji
It
goes to
does.
school.
Yeah. I don't know. Evangelion, great show, Jay. Great show. I'm glad that
Cool
glad that
setting.
you've come around on Evangelion.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
I know
show-
you like Evangelion, so like, look, I cater to my audience.
I will say quickly, Cole. I saw like the drip Shinji and drip Asuka figures.
Yeah.
When I was in I forget what district. I think it was Shibuya. There was actually I saw the Radio Eva store.
Ooh.
Which is like a whole store, which I guess those figures are like created for.
Okay.
And it's like the clothes that they're wearing you can buy there and stuff. It's
Yeah.
cool. I thought of you while I was there.
Yeah. You thought of me.
Evangelion setting is cool because I like the way that because the setting with that one, I feel like the soundtrack is included. And I feel like as soon as you see Evangelion setting, I think of cool like sunsets, buildings, very like bleak and like kind of boring, but like, and then just like cicadas like crazy.
Yes. That should be on the soundboard. We should have a cicada sound on the soundboard. That's
Jay, quick, do a cicada sound so people know what it sounds like.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
We'll just edit cicadas over him.
That'd be really funny, Cole.
I am the cicada.
Listen.
What? No? And then just like the chirping.
So this whole concept was Jay's idea, and his pitch to us was like settings we'd like to see more in anime. And we kind of went off of that, like underused settings, maybe some of our favorite settings in anime. So like Jay, you pitched this idea, you thought of it in your brain, your big brain, beautiful brain. What was a setting that you want to see more in anime?
I mean, I know that this is something that like we talk about a lot, and it's kind of something overdone at this point in our discussions, but like, man, I'd love to see more Canada in anime. Like,
God damn it, Jay, that was
one
mine.
of the big things. One of the big things that made Cole so excited about this season was Anne Shirley, and because it's set in Canada or Prince Edward Island,
which is part of Canada.
Yeah.
But like, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, as an aside, Anne Shirley's been really good. Actually, everybody should check that out.
Oh, nice.
It's
yeah. I think it might be the only anime set in Canada, to my knowledge.
Undead Unlock has moments in Canada.
Yeah,
it's fully
exclusively
set
in
Canada.
Yeah. I mean, never forget, in Iron-Blooded Orphans, they go to the famous Canadian city of Edmonton. Edmonton was a major plot point.
Which is, I think, kind of a throwback, because in like the original Gundam, they actually go to Canada. Like, I think Amuro? Someone's
Amuro
actually
was,
from Amuro was from Vancouver or something.
Yeah, Amuro's from like Prince Rupert, British Columbia or something like that.
Yeah, which is like super just odd. Super odd. But
yeah.
Anyway.
More Canada in anime. I agree with Jay on this one.
Yeah.
Canada is such a vast landscape. Like, yes, okay, we've got Anne Shirley and Prince Edward Island in the Maritimes. Beautiful, beautiful area of Canada. Hey, set some in the prairies, you know? Just blisteringly cold. Like, you want to see people miserable from the cold? Set it in Winnipeg, man. That's where it's at.
That's where the depression hits.
That's when everybody come late February, everybody's in a bad mood because we're all over it.
We're just ready for spring at that point.
Yeah. Let's more anime in Canada. Well, and of course, like I guess what just that one that you like, Jay, that movie, your favorite movie. What's your favorite movie, Jay?
Machia?
Spider-Man.
Oh, Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim takes place in Canada as well.
It does take
Oh,
place
that's
in Canada.
true.
This is true.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh crap! That we found out the other answer to things anime exclusively set in Canada.
Yeah. I forgot about that one too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Good
Good
answer. Doesn't
though,
feel
Jay.
like an anime sometimes because
It's
Anyway,
kind of a,
yeah.
It's kind of
it's kind of an in-betweener.
yeah. What's a setting you want to see more of, Mike?
Well, I really like that one actually because I think it's cool, and I think there's a lot of like Japanese tourism to Canada, I believe too, which helps with that case a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I would just like to see more countries in general. Like, let's see Australia, let's see Brazil, let's see let's go to the other parts of the world. Let's not just have anime. Just I guess I'm going more negative here with this one, but let's venture outside the halls of the Japanese high school and let's go beyond plus ultra into other countries. I think you could explore some cool things and some of like my favorite anime are ones where they kind of like go outside that comfort zone and like a place further in the universe. They go to Antarctica. Like instead of like Japan's a cool place for tourism and stuff, but like we could go a lot of other places. And I guess the problem with that though is like they have to be pretty familiar with the place that they're depicting.
Yeah,
Right?
I
It's
think
just
it depends
easier
on
to
the
do
kind of
that.
show that it is too, right?
Mhm.
Like if
Yeah.
a place further than the universe is like, that's the whole point, is them going somewhere that's like different.
Yeah.
Right.
And Shirley, I think, is kind of made as like a tourist.
Well, and Shirley also
thing.
is like weirdly popular in Japan. Like,
Yeah.
the
I was
novel.
honestly, when the credits started rolling for Anne Shirley, I was expecting to see like, when we watch a show here, sometimes at the end of the credits, it'll be like a logo of the Canada,
Canadian
like the
flag or
government of
something.
Canada.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting like maybe there's
One
funding
of
from the
those.
Canadian government or something, but no, there is not. There was not, because Anne of Green Gables is probably like one of the seminal Canadian literature things, I would say.
Yeah,
Probably. Yeah.
probably.
Internationally anyway, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So other countries in general. So basically you guys have taken like every possible answer from me.
Yeah, for sure. There's other settings too. Like I'll have another one that's kind of queued up, but I'll throw it to Jay before I get to there.
Well, Cole didn't get a chance to say one.
Oh, is it
So let's
Jay who
get
said
Cole.
the Canada?
I said Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Cole. It's the Canada. Cole. Yeah, Cole. I'm
Yeah.
throwing it to you then.
It's okay, Mike. You're sleep deprived. It's all good. A setting. I always like settings that like. How can I describe this? It's like an. Okay. So have either of you ever played? Oh shoot! I wish I had like the name of the game. It's like a jet fighter game. Ace
Combat?
Ace Combat. Have either of you ever played any of the Ace Combat games?
No.
Nope.
It takes place on Earth,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not Earth. You know?
Oh,
So
okay.
like it's like this alternate reality where like the countries don't really matter. Like
Mhm.
there are countries, but they aren't what we know them as. I guess
it's
like an
kinda like
alternate
Gundam?
history. Like an alternate history. But Gundam can realistically be the future, right? It
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Amuro Ray is Canadian. Right?
Mhm. Canada still
Born-
exists in that time.
Canada still exists, but like
Mhm.
a world where it straight up doesn't exist, or like an alternate timeline. Code Geass, I guess you could say. Like
Okay.
Code Geass takes place in an alternate universe where the US did not win the Revolutionary War. But it doesn't really matter. Like it's
Yeah.
just kind of
It's kind of a cool
an
setting idea.
aside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Attack on
guess,
Titan's
maybe.
kind of like that too. Like
A little bit.
for all
yeah.
intents and purposes,
Yeah,
it's very.
Attack on Titan's
I mean,
a good one.
kind of spoilers for the end of Attack on Titan, I guess. But it's been, if you don't know, yeah. But like, yeah, it technically like once the world expands, it realistically is just Earth. Really.
Earth, but not Earth.
Not
Like
yeah.
it
There's
could take
superpowers
place. Yeah, it's like a completely different planet where humans also evolved, and there's nation states that kind of look like ours, but they're not. And
Mhm.
yeah,
Very similar to
that's-
Code Geass, like kind of like you said, like they're it's like you looked at Earth in like a funny mirror, like a funny bizarro mirror, like a funhouse mirror.
Yeah. Ooh,
I do like those
technotype.
settings. That's a good one, Cole. I do like when they do that because it's like kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Or
like the alternate history where, like, oh, I could see how this could lead to this if that happened instead. Like Man in the High Castle type of thing, right? Like that's a famous book. It's not an anime, but that idea, alternate history. It's an interesting thought experiment. What about settings that are underused? Which I guess is kind of the same thing. Mike, you said you had another one. So
yeah, and it's a good segue because it is. It is something that is definitely underused, and I think I really like when the anime do like the Spice and Wolf or like the Ancient Mage's Bride technique of kind of just doing like, here's like generic Europe setting or something like that, generic medieval Europe setting, and I feel like we don't get that super often. It's oftentimes we either get like video game Western
nowadays,
fantasy, or you'll get like Japanese history stuff, but like very rare. Like I'm trying to think of an anime where we actually have like a knight and a suit of an armor, and like fighting like like we don't really have that very much.
Yeah,
that I can think
let's
of.
have some jousting. I want to see more jousting.
Yeah, let's joust. New sports anime, jousting.
Jousting.
With cute anime girls.
With
whoa,
hold on a sec. I've just thought of something. I think Jay's unlocked the
game.
secret. Oh yeah, Jay's unlocked the secret. Let's just name sports. Name sports. Obscure sports.
Jousting.
But with cute anime girls.
Yeah. And then also it's a multimedia project. So like there's trading cards and like figures and a video game, but like a mobile video game.
Yeah.
And like you can pick your best girl and like have her be a jouster, and you get like there's like a power ranking for like how well you do in jousts.
Jay, you should tell Japan about this because this sounds like a really good idea. They should start doing this.
Yeah.
Just have like
Side Games,
two girls doing random sports.
Hey, Side Games, hit me up. I got your next $1 billion idea.
Yeah, we should have like one about like horse girls that like race.
Yeah, what if it was like horse girls, but like they were
Cute
jousting, so they're not on horses.
Oh, what if it was like horses?
What if it was like a throw off of Uma Musume, but it took place in like medieval Japan? But it took place in medieval Japan.
Spin-off.
But they all put on their armor and they just run at each other, right? And they're jousting.
That'd be such a cool Uma Musume spin-off. Like, that's sweet. Speaking of cool settings, Uma Musume cool setting because it's like they don't really address the setting at all, and that makes it kind of cool. It's just like, the horse girls just exist. It's a normal thing.
I saw a meme where they were like showing horse-related animals to one of the horse girls.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, yeah, that's a donkey, that's a zebra. And then they show them a picture of a horse and they just like freak out. They're like, what is that monster? What is that?
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I want more like, let's have more European settings in this. Let's have like the medieval. I'd like to see like a medieval anime or something like that. I guess Orb is this Orb setting would be a good example of that, right? But that's very specific.
Just kind of going off of that too, Mike, like you brought up Ancient Mage's Bride, and I guess like Fate also kind of does it, but like our world, but with like a hat on it, right? Like it's our world, but there's like all the mystical stuff. I guess that's not a very underused setting, but it's I don't know. I guess I want to see more of it, even more. Jay, do you have any other ones?
Okay, so this one's kind of a spin on your idea of like alternate universe kind of thing. What if we did like an alternate universe where Pangea didn't split up, and the world was still in Pangea? Have you ever seen
the 1990s sitcom Dinosaurs? What if we did that, but anime? Cute anime
and all the
dinosaurs
are cute anime girls.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
we've cracked the code. Yeah.
Japan, get on it.
Yeah. What was that show where all of the it looked terrible. Kimono Friends, where all of the animals were like cute in quotation mark anime girls. It's like that, but dinosaurs. So like you've got like T-Rex girl and I don't know, Stegosaurus
John.
Let's do it. Hit us up. Hit us up, Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got good ideas.
Yeah. Side games. You know where to go.
Yeah. AniProPod at gmail.com. That's
something kind of cool I found out about side games. Just as a quick aside. Did you know that Nintendo owns like 5% of that company?
Really?
Yeah.
I hope Side Games never does anything else other than release the English version of Umusume. Yeah.
Did you see that their YouTube? I saw when I was in Japan that the YouTube released another English thing for the first time in like 8 months or something.
Just to get everybody excited, but everybody's like, we've gone through this too many times.
We've cried wolf enough.
It was a character introduction for Special Week. That's right. What it was. Yeah, in English. And like they showed like shots of the game and it was all ready. Just release it. Just release the game.
No,
we're ready for it.
Because then all the hype goes away because it's already out.
But they make lots of money though.
That's true. I'd be the number one right here. Right here. I'm ready.
His wallet's ready.
Yeah.
His wallet's ready.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have any settings that I would.
I'm out too. I guess I really said the same thing twice, but that's okay.
But what about favorite settings? So like we see a setting and we're like, oh yeah, baby, let's go. I know this is going to be good. I'll lead us off this time because Mike did the last one and Jay did the one before that. So I guess it's my turn. You know it's not an underused setting. I just really like the vibe of like rural Japan in anime. You know, like small town Japan. I think of like Takagi-san. I think of like what was that one we reviewed about the guy who does calligraphy?
Starts with Barakamon.
Barakamon.
No, Barakamon. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Not Bakano.
Bakano takes place in Chicago, I think.
That
right?
does take. Yeah.
Or recently,
all over
like
the world, pretty much.
Okitsura took place in like Okinawa, and it's I just like the concept of like rural Japan. Tokyo, it's just a city. It's just ultimately, it's a city. It's an urban environment and all of that. I want to see some rice paddies. I want to see people walking to and from school and it looks pretty. That's what I want to see.
Or even like Kyoto, which is like a very different, it's a city still, but it's like a very different vibe from Tokyo. It's very old feeling. Like let's explore outside of. I agree with this take, Cole. Like let's we've seen Tokyo. Let's check out the other parts of Japan. Let's go up to Sapporo. See what's up there in the mountains, you know?
Yes. I want to see more in Hokkaido. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. But I think the problem with that is that it's just like I think most Japanese people live in Tokyo.
I know, but wouldn't you imagine like wouldn't you want to watch something that takes place not where you live? But also, I guess
you would think. But I think the thing is, and this is the same reason why every anime has like a school element to it, because it's like it makes it more relatable. Yeah, everybody's been to school, right?
Yeah.
But like, I agree with you. As an outsider to both Tokyo and Japan, I would love to see more. I like when we like do like anime tourism, basically, where we kind of like learn a little bit about somewhere by just watching a show. I think that's cool.
Yeah. What about you, Jay? What are some of your favorite settings? I do have another one.
So one of my favorite settings, and we're gonna get a little topical here because the anime for this just got announced. JoJo Part 7 has a really cool setting. It's just like a big
pseudo Earth again.
Yeah, it's pseudo Earth. But like it's just one big horse race, across like late 1880s.
Desert, the Badlands kind of thing. Wild West.
Wild West kind of.
Wild West setting in anime.
That's a cool one actually. Wild West. I'm surprised we don't get more of that.
Yeah, that's a good one. We should see that.
That is a good one.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that too, Jay. I've been slowly trying to work through part 6 as well because I'm ready for it to get animated.
Yeah, part 7 is widely considered the best part of JoJo because it's like it's just kind of like the peak of everything Araki did with the other parts. Like it's just everything that makes JoJo good, all put into one manga and sharpened to a T.
As a JoJo outsider, everybody says, "Oh, this is the best part of JoJo's." Everybody says that. I've heard that a billion times. So I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore.
Gyro Zappelli is the best character in JoJo. Period.
His name is Gyro. That's pretty sick. Yeah.
I think it's pronounced Yuro. Yuro Zeppeli.
I think your name's pronounced Mike. What's your
in Japan it would be. In Japan it would be.
What about you?
What would be my favorite setting? I wanted to say Attack on Titan, but I'll go something different. I'm gonna go Pokemon. I really like Pokemon setting.
Okay.
I don't know. There's something fun to me about like a world. So like Pokemon's interesting because it doesn't explicitly tell you that much about the setting. You kind of have to just like come up with. They like you to just invent things in your own mind, and you can kind of like make it right.
Yeah.
And in my headcanon, like it's this world where like they've solved all problems with humanity for the most part. Like food shortage is not a thing. Everyone has enough money to live, and like they just do their little hobbies. Like they're a fisherman. They just fish or something like that. Or they just I'm just a 10-year-old. I'm allowed to go out in the world on my own with my team of monsters that I battle against other kids with or whatever, and and like I just beat people up and steal their money. But like it's not that much money, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not an issue. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of like it's when you like think about it more than just like, okay, cool, there's Pokemon there. But like you think about all the other stuff, the infrastructure and like the daily lives of these people, like it seems like such a crazy thing. Like imagine living in that world.
Like there's random guys who will just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Route 5 and just stand there forever.
Yeah, that's what I do. I just stand here.
What do you do for
talk
a
about
living?
my shorts?
I just stand here. I just stand here, say something about my shorts, and then start a fight with a kid.
And then start a fight, and then when I inevitably lose against this teenager or this 10-year-old boy who apparently has a literal god on his team, and then I hand him like $15 and say, "Nice one, kid. I'm gonna go back to Pokemon Center. Yeah, I'll get you next time. Yeah. I'll give you a call on your little device there, and I'll try to beat you again. I won't, but I'll try."
Yeah. No, I like that idea. It always makes me think like one of again, as a complete aside, are you guys familiar with the Harry Potter franchise?
A little bit, yeah. I'm a millennial, of course. I know Harry Potter.
I'm like an honorary millennial. I think I basically know Harry Potter.
I
feel like you're the line, like you're one of like the tweeners.
You're there.
96,
you're on the cusp.
96 is the last year, so like I'm like right there.
You're somewhere.
Yeah.
You're right
close,
in the middle.
I feel closer with millennials because like I hear Gen Z stuff and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah. The Harry Potter thing, I've always wanted like a Harry Potter spinoff of like how the Muggle government deals with like wizards.
Yeah.
You know? Like there's these offhand lines about like, oh, the Ministry of Magic had to speak to the Muggle Prime Minister about something. And it's like, I want that. Like I'm the only person in the world who wants that. I know. But like, I just imagine the Prime Minister being like, "Oh my God, these guys again are doing insane."
Imagine being the guy in charge of like dealing with Albus Dumbledore.
Yeah,
you know?
But like from a Muggle,
from like a you don't understand any of this stuff. He can't tell you about it. It's like
there's just this guy in a suit. Yeah. He's like, I got a meeting with this guy named Albus Dumbledore, and then this
Albus
like
Dumbledore walks in.
This guy, this whimsical wizard walks in, and he's like, "Oh, hello." That should be an anime. That should be an anime. It doesn't really have to be Harry Potter. I think it would just be funny. Just the like liaison between the regular world and the magical world, and
I feel like that is a thing.
Has to deal with like cover-ups.
That does exist. It's Gate.
No, but like the whole concept is like, how is he going to cover up some shenanigan that they pulled this time?
Yeah,
Gate, kind of, but
similar,
like it's a secret.
Gate's like a step in the right direction, I'd say.
Yeah.
So like it's this stressed out salary man who's constantly having to put out fires caused by these whimsical wizards.
So is it an isekai?
No, it's not an isekai. It's our world. It takes place in our world, but they're like.
But there's like another world there of like.
And they don't care if they like.
Yeah.
Like they do, but they like. Their idea of like showing themselves is completely different. I don't know. I'll work on this. I'll workshop this.
I feel like Harry Potter is like lacking in the anime department. I feel like you could make some pretty good anime with the Harry Potter world. Thinking about it,
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Hit me up.
Yeah. Let's get an anime about where he's the guy who goes around and like he's like a janitor, and his job is just to evaporate all the poop that apparently they
No, but he's a regular guy. He's not magic. He's just a dude.
I like your setting. And how you explain that kind of reminds me of from a couple seasons, or was it last season, the Magie Lumiere show? Because in that show, like magical girls are like a business, and like they kind of have like this magical, whimsical world, but like it's all handled very business like, and it's kind of just like a
commercialized.
Weird, it's like commercialized, and it's a very weird world to live in. It's I think that the big takeaway from this settings discussion of Jay's here is like, I think we just really, really like when it's like, hey, that's our world, but with a twist.
Yeah, but what if this happened?
Or what if there was wizards, or what if there was
my other setting, of course, Cyberpunk. If I see a Cyberpunk setting, I'm like interested. I'm interested in it. I don't know if I'll watch it. But some of my favorite stuff is Cyberpunk stuff. So of course, so that's another one of my favorites.
What's Jay? You say your thing. I'll say mine after.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna throw one out there real quick because like I do like this setting. I don't know if it's my favorite, but like I do find it cool. Men in Black, kind of similar to Cole's about like a hidden world, but like. I'd love to see an anime kind of like Men in Black, where like they're chasing aliens, but like they can't let civilians know that aliens exist.
Yeah. No, that is kind of my setting. It's just Men in Black. That first Men in Black movie is
so good.
It's like top 25 movies for me, for sure.
Yeah. It's like, old and busted, new hotness.
New hotness.
Yeah, there you go. New hotness.
Yeah. What is this thing? I feel like I'm going to break it. Yeah. Noisy cricket. Yeah. Anyway, Mike.
What does he want? Sugar water? Sugar water or something?
Sugar water. Somebody dropped the sugar water reference on me the other day, and I was like, oh my God, really? You just did that? Nobody talks about sugar water except for like me, my brother, and Mike.
Yeah. It's like that's opening scene is like seared into my brain because as a child watching that, I was maybe a little too young, and it was a little scary. Yeah. But what? Just to wrap this all up, what would you? Cole's already given his like favorite, like what setting gets you like super interested in something? Like what's your favorite like generic type setting, like your genre of setting? And for Cole, Cyberpunk, obviously. Jay, what would you say yours is?
I feel like it's super generic because like anime is super saturated in this, but fantasy. I love me a good fantasy setting.
Yeah, same.
Like obviously the story has to be good, but like when you get a good fantasy story, man, it is so much fun.
The setting itself is enough to like make you at least consider it. It's the same for me with Cyberpunk. Like I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but at least I'm interested in it just because of that.
Yeah.
What about you, Mike?
I totally agree with Jay. Like a good fantasy setting is my bread and butter. That's my jam. I'm spreading jam on that toast all day long. So I guess instead of saying my favorite one, I'll just throw it. What do you say is like your least favorite? Like what kind of like turns you off? Because for me, it's definitely like the high school club setting turns me off of an anime, I'd say.
I don't know.
It just feels like I've seen it a million times.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a setting where I'd see it and I'd be like, I'm not interested. The closest, and I'm sorry, Jay, but kind of that generic isekai fantasy one.
No,
like when it works, it works.
Yeah.
But like there's so much slop associated with it where I'm like,
for sure.
Yeah.
It's not enough to turn me off, but it's one to make me more wary, I think.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that there are like so many sloppy isekai things that like
exactly
it just kind of ruined the genre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Though like I feel like if it's just like a traditional fantasy, there's a better chance. It's just like when it's an isekai, it falls apart.
Because I feel like what a lot of them will do, like they'll have the cool fantasy world and they'll think of that, and then they just throw the isekai aspect at the front. But like the isekai aspect doesn't matter at all, so it just kind of like murkies the water a little bit and just makes things like this is just too many things. It just doesn't really make like I don't know. It's just something about it that just gives you a bad taste in your mouth. But if it was just a fantasy straight up, it's like, oh cool, this works.
Like that new show that's airing this season, Country Bumpkin, whatever the heck it's called.
Yeah,
That's set in a fantasy, and like I respect it for the fact that like it's not an isekai, it's just a straight fantasy, and like
I always appreciate that too.
Yeah.
More just genuine fantasies. Not everything's got to be an isekai.
Was that the show with Rudius's dad?
Yeah,
where he
like,
gets
it
like
looks,
a kind of a PG harem of girls around him as he.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I need to check that show out still.
Yeah, it's like surprisingly good. Like
I
I'm
thought it
enjoying
looked good from the
so
trailer.
much.
I remember. Yeah. Oh, you're enjoying it. Good.
I'm
glad.
enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like a fun show.
It's a lot of fun. Like like he's the main character's like technically overpowered, but like he's overpowered in the way where he's like just really good with a sword.
Like me.
Right. Like he just like underestimates himself, but he's actually like a really good sword teacher, and that's his whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
And it's
again. Oh, sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it seems like one of the shows, like when you say, oh, he basically develops a harem of girls, but it's like it's pretty, like from what I've seen, it's not very ecchi at all.
It's
like,
pretty
kind of
yeah.
It's just kind of like
the like they like him kind of thing. It's more implied than explicitly shown.
Yeah, and it's not super jiggly and
yeah.
Anyway, Cole, what were you gonna say before we?
I was just gonna say like a lot of times like these settings don't necessarily not work. Like we talked about like the generic video game isekai baloney that would, but like a lot of shows still work in spite of that. Like I think of Overlord, like Overlord I think is genuinely a good show in spite of it being like a video game world. SAO, like we all love SAO, but let's be real. Like it's not the best show.
It's I think it's good as like baby's first fantasy, if that makes sense. Like like
baby's
if you're
first
just being
foray into this.
Like you're just being introduced to it.
I think it's fine. I think it's an example of like the world has enough interesting stuff going on in it that it's a like for me SAO is just fine. It gets dunked on because I think it was a popular thing to do on YouTube like when it was airing, and I don't think it's as bad as people say.
I think SAO just kind of lost the plot. I think that was
a little
bit
bit
the thing.
Yeah,
like it's gone off in weird directions, but
that it was like never probably meant to go in.
Overlord, great. Konosuba, great. Like there are shows that still work in spite of a setting that I'm not necessarily into.
Or like ReZero, Mushoku Tensei.
So the difference between those shows is the setting is kind of a drag and drop setting of generic fantasy isekai world. But those shows you described, because they have this solid foundation, they paint on the canvas with these super colorful, super vibrant characters that you say Rudius, you can picture that character instantly. You know all about him, right? Because they have these great characters in this kind of setting that it's like, okay, it's an okay setting. Here's some incredible characters to liven it up.
And they also use the setting to make their point with the story, right? Like Rudius getting transported to another world, there's a point to that, and there's a reason why him getting reborn matters.
It's a play on the old expression. It's bad from afar, but far from bad, I would say.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to maybe end it here on a wonderful Coleism.
Just real quick.
Okay.
No, Cole.
No, because I didn't say the one that I didn't like, so I figured we.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Look, Cole, I'm sorry, and I'm not saying this out of spite. It's just like, not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of cyberpunk stuff.
No, and that's fine.
Stuff
in
general.
That's why this podcast works, Jay, because you and I have such differing opinions on how anime, what kind of anime we like. I get it, because again, like there is a lot of slop associated with cyberpunk too. Oh, we'll just put it in the cyberpunk world and people will think it's cool, and it's like yes, there's cool cyberpunk, but it doesn't make it cool.
And I feel like a lot of cyberpunk stuff too, like it tries to get a bit too heady, where like it's like like it thinks it's smarter than it is.
Yeah, for sure.
When like it's not that. And
that's a good take. Yeah, because again, like everybody's watched Ghost in the Shell. It's like, I'll make the new Ghost in the Shell. And it's like, no, you've just made metallic rouge.
Yeah.
Sci-fi's tough like that, where it really, really has to be done well, because you don't, unlike a generic fantasy world, everyone understands that instantly. We know exactly, like we understand, or a video game world, we know how that works. With sci-fi, you really have to build the world. And if you don't build it right, then it doesn't work. Because it's just not,
I think you need to have like an understanding of how the world works. And that's why a lot of like the best sci-fi comes off as like prescient, you know, like, oh my God, how could they tell this happened? Well, because if, you know, a broken clock is correct twice a day.
Yeah.
If a billion people are writing sci-fi stuff, like eventually someone's going to be
right.
Someone's going to catch on to something that's fairly right. And I think the cyberpunk genre does work for that, because like, hey, spoilers, everybody, we live in the cyberpunk world right now. We're living in a corporatocracy or whatever.
Yeah. And like at the same time, I feel like when you're making a cyberpunk or sci-fi world, you have to be prepared for people to ask a ton of questions, because like, that's just
you need to have answers
of,
for everything.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good place to stop, I think, and maybe go to a break. I'm pulling an audible.
Okay.
Let's push the mailbag. Back to.
Just a girthy first half. That was a good opening.
It was a good opening. Yeah. Mike, welcome back. Drops back in like nobody's, like we never even had an issue. Yeah.
Yep. No, I'm here. Honestly, very good timing, because before my nap, I was a zombie. So this is fortunate.
I couldn't tell. You're doing. Yeah. You look great, Mike. You look great. You sound great.
Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu.
So what we'll do our mailbag when we come back. It's got something to do with sports or something. I don't know. And then we're going to talk about Mono, the manga Mono. Are you guys ready? Did you read it?
We'll find out.
To the listeners.
After the break.
After this. Break. Hey, YouTube viewer. I don't mean to interrupt you during a well-deserved break, but can you do me a real quick favor? You see that little button there? The one that looks like a thumbs up? Can you just click that? Just real quick. Yeah, great. Thanks. Oh, and while you're down there, can you just hit subscribe? Yeah, like that. Thanks. Oh, what's that? You're not on YouTube, but instead listening to the podcast on... And you want to join in on the fun? Well, if you want, why don't you leave a 5-star review? No matter how you're watching or listening, providing feedback to us helps AniPro grow so that more and more people can listen to us and our perfectly normal and not strange at all takes. And seeing as you're being so cool, why don't I let you in on a little secret? AniPro has a Discord server where you can talk to the hosts and other listeners about anime and other random topics about, like, I don't know, mayo on hot dogs and stuff. Anyway, thank you so much. What's that? You want to do even more? Oh my goodness, thank you. Well, AniPro has a Patreon where for a small donation you can get access to archived episodes and ad-free episodes. You can get episodes early and even get a monthly bonus episode. I think, yeah, that's it. Listen, I really appreciate you listening to this. I will now reward you with the second half of this episode.
Where's George? Or is George? I can't find anything about this book. Listeners, if you've Googled it and successfully found this thing Jay's talking about, it's real obscure apparently. It's like all it's coming up is the 1938 American or 1983 American war drama television miniseries, The Winds of War.
Maybe I'll fade in on Mike saying if you can find anything about what Jay just said, and then the listeners will just be left in suspense. Welcome back. Yeah. Welcome back to AniPro. We're back here on AniPro. An anime brought to you by you, the listener, and by just
Us,
sheer
the
willpower.
podcaster? Yeah.
Sheer, pure
Rage, spite, mostly.
anger.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Just basically stubbornness to not stop. I think
Yeah.
that's really the
Yeah.
Do you
driving
guys?
force, yeah.
I'm kind of warm. I could use a little dip.
Yeah?
Dip. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
go. I could
Okay,
go.
let's
I'm
go.
always down for a little dip.
It's time for the mailbag.
Yeah, it's mailbag time. If you got a mailbag question, you can send it to us over at our website, AniProPod.com/mailbag, or on our Discord. Come over to our Discord if you want. This one comes from Super Mexi. If you got dropped into any professional sports game, which sport would you have the best performance in, Mike?
Oh boy, he threw it to me first. What sport do I feel? Okay, I'm like so tempted to give like a sarcastic answer of just like some kind of like ridiculous like darts or something.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous sport, darts, you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or
it's not real.
badminton or something. Not a real
Yeah.
sport. I'm gonna go with the thing I think I'm actually skilled at as an athlete, and I would say my greatest skill physically is my endurance.
Okay.
I think I would be like a long distance runner, like a marathon type guy, because I can run because I have long legs and because I have good endurance. I can run long distances fairly fast. I'm not a fast I can't run 100-meter very fast, for example, but I can run a kilometer pretty fast for the average bird, I would say. So I maybe
Okay.
like a running anime, right? Or
like a
running
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 sport.
sport. I guess.
Triathlon.
Maybe actually
So-
triathlon, because I am a good swimmer and I am a good cyclist as well too. So triathlon. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Cole. You
I
found
was
it.
gonna say. So Mike is gonna be an Uma Musume next season. Got it.
Mike's an Uma
I'll be the
Musume.
single horse boy.
Mhm.
Yeah, where are the horse boys at?
Yeah.
Where's the horse daddies? Huh?
It's funny. Their dads are always human. It's always the
Mhm.
moms. And then you think like
Mhm.
those
We got
dads.
freaky dads.
Yeah, they got they got
Speaking of, Ogre Cap loves her mom very much.
she does. She does
Yeah.
love her mom very much.
Yeah.
God, that's a good show. That's a good show, Jay.
It is
Good
a good
pick.
show.
That's enough Uma Musume. What sport
No.
do you think you'd be excelling at, Jay?
What sport do I think I'd be excelling at? I'm not the sporty guy, but there's one sport, and I had to Google and make sure that it is in fact a sport
Mhm.
before I talked about it. And that's billiards.
Ooh.
I'm going with billiards.
Okay.
For my excellent performance in sports, just because I love billiards, and I'm also actually kind of good at it.
Okay.
I could see that.
Pool
I could see
shark.
Jay being a pool shark. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad actually used to play like professionally in pool.
Really?
So, like,
Oh, so you're carrying on the
Mm.
family legacy here. I like
Yeah.
that too.
My dad, pseudo, was a very, very accomplished curler. Curler.
Curling is
Curler?
good.
Curling?
Yeah.
Curler? Everyone's favorite sport.
I can
Everyone's
see Jay
favorite
being
sport
good
to
at-
say, oh, why it's so boring. And then you start watching it and you're like, actually,
Very hard.
There's something about curling. It's very peaceful.
Whenever I hear curling, I always think of Corner Gas, because there's an episode where they curl, and
Mhm.
it's a good one.
Curling is truly a great sport. It is like a weird sport though. It feels like it feels like it should be more boring than it is. But Jay, I don't want to get off track. Why?
Yes.
Billiards.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it does indeed classify as a sport. And I mean, it's all
anything
about
does.
it's all about angles.
Mhm.
Just all about
Yep.
making sure you're hitting the ball at the right angle. Sounds very boring, but like playing it,
Mhm.
it's so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
It always
I love
is very
playing pool.
impressive to me when you play against someone who's like really good at pool or
Mhm.
billiards, as the civilized folk, as Jay calls
Mhm.
it. You ever play snooker, Jay?
I was just going to ask that.
I played it once, and like
What a
it's
confusing game.
It's
What a
very
confusing
confusing,
game.
especially going from billiards to snooker.
Yeah.
Like it's just a completely different game.
In my dad's hometown, Mike knows it. Jay, do you know where my dad's from?
Yeah.
I'll tell you off air. It's not my hometown. He's from a different town. But they have
I
a
don't know why
very
it's-
old.
Okay.
They have a very old. What were you going to say, Mike?
I was gonna say I don't think the actual name of the town matters really.
I guess. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the town called Treeherne.
Yeah.
And they have a
Yeah, I
very
knew that.
old.
You've told me
Oh,
that.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
They have a
No, I
very
meant,
old.
like, just say they have an old thing.
They have an old thing, and
Yeah.
they have an old bowling alley, 5-pin.
Okay.
Did you know that 5-pin bowling is like only here in Manitoba?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that.
You look up 5-pin bowling, it's like it's popular in Manitoba.
Really? Oh, I
And-
literally I didn't play 10-pin bowling until I was
No.
already a man.
No, same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
if you go to a bowling alley here, it's 5-pin. You've
Yeah.
got to like specifically look out for a 10-pin bowling alley. Anyway, regardless,
Anyway.
they've got a 5-pin bowling alley, and then on the other side of the bowling alley, they have like 4 snooker tables, and it's like the only place I've ever seen that has like
Only snooker?
a bunch of snooker tables, and it's only snooker. And the
It's a
snooker
different.
tables,
It's a bigger table or something.
it's a
right?
huge table. It's enormous. And no,
I've never
no,
played on
like-
a real snooker table. I'll
Yeah.
say that.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think
take
I've ever
your
played
trigger.
on. Like, I think I've only played them on like a pool table.
yeah.
Which
We'll go
is
golfing.
Smaller, right?
We'll go golfing, and then we'll go to the bowling alley. We'll
There
play
you
some
go.
snooker. Yeah.
Man, I haven't gone bowling in a long time actually.
Yeah.
I like
Hey,
bowling.
man.
Not
Yeah.
good at it, but I like bowling.
Yeah. I'm good at it when I'm drunk for some reason. I need like,
You limber
I
up.
suck
You
at
limber
bowling.
up.
yeah, I'm really bad at bowling. But then I don't know, something about it. Once I've got some drinks in me,
Once you get lost in the sauce.
then I'm all inhibitions away with the ball, the tiny
locked in.
5-pin bowling ball. Let me explain
Bowling is-
5-pin bowling to everybody.
Oh,
You know when you
okay.
go bowling, it's got 3 holes in the ball and it's big.
Mhm.
It's like a big
Yeah.
ball. 5-pin
Yeah.
bowling, it's a little ball with no holes in it. And you just kind of huck it down the bowling alley.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's different. It's fun. I like 5-pin.
I remember when I was a kid, I went to play 5-pin bowling, and they had like the rail guards on the end, so you actually couldn't get a
Mm.
gutter.
Yeah.
So like I'd ricochet it off the gutter or like off the railing to
Yeah.
get a strike.
Oh no, I would
Oh, yeah.
if somebody
Yeah,
puts
if the guards are up. Yeah.
if somebody puts guards up, I'm like aiming for the gutter and just bouncing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funner that way. Yeah.
See
Uh,
what kind
are
of
you-
ricochet I can get.
Was this your way of Cole of saying to that your sport you'd be good at is 5-pin bowling? The
I guess.
hometown exclusive.
I
Is that what
guess.
you're getting at here.
I guess. I was gonna say croquet just as a joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say 5-pin bowling. Everyone's favorite pastime.
Yeah, you love playing 5-pin bowling in your gitch while eating some KD. Well, what are some other wearing you got a booter and
I got a
feet
booter.
are all wet. Yeah, I'm trying to think of
I
other
got-
Manitoba only things that are.
I got a booter. I'm in my gitch.
Some honey dill sauce with your chicken
having some
fingers?
chicken with
Chicken fingers with honey dill
uh,
sauce.
honey dill. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm drinking
at
pop.
the Jets game.
The Jets game.
at the Jets game. Yeah,
I think
Anyway.
pop's more of a Midwest thing, but
I don't know.
we say pop up here.
Really?
So,
I say sodies.
Of course you do. You
Trader.
goof.
I want to go for a sody.
Might as well go for a soda.
Might as well go for a soda.
I'm
Nobody
listening
hurts,
to
nobody
BTO.
dies.
Listening to BTO and the Guess Who.
There you go. There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Neil Young.
Talking about how the weather's always somehow bad. Even like all we do is complain about the weather. Here. That's
Yeah,
what we
it's
love.
either
That's what we love.
either
Yeah.
miserably cold or miserably hot here. That's
Yeah, and we're never
Or the
happy
roads
with
are always under construction.
yeah. It's either
Well, they
ice
are.
or construction.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are, Jay. They are.
are.
Anyway,
it.
that's
Take
enough.
a picture of our roads and show how bad they are. Start a
I think I've
photography
done
club
that.
of our roads.
If you go to our Discord and look way back, there's a photo of our horrible
yes.
highways, and that was actually on the way to Treeherne. Awful road, number 2 highway, terrible. You guys want to talk about mono though?
Yeah,
Like the
Yeah,
manga,
the disease.
the manga.
Oh,
Oh,
I was
manga.
gonna. I thought there's like a mononucleosis awareness podcast that we're doing. Hold on.
Don't get mono; it's bad.
Yeah.
Bad for you.
Have you had
Apparently,
mono?
I've never had mono.
The only person I've ever known that really actually had mono, like literally, like I think they basically like it derailed their whole life. Like they basically dropped out of school. Like they got mono and then like I never really saw them again after.
Oh, the only person when I think of mono, there was one person in high school that got mono, and he was the singer and guitar player of my band.
Oh, really?
Like, you know who that is.
Oh,
Yeah.
he got mono. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and now he's a
Oh.
successful musician.
Yeah, he's like a successful country musician. Yeah.
yeah, but he had
I don't-
mono.
I don't really have much input on this discussion. I've only read the manga.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, the manga.
Oh, yeah. We should get back on track. Yeah.
This was my nomination, I do believe.
I do declare.
It was.
It was
yes.
Cole's it was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
I would not have
Mono.
picked this.
No,
It
neither would I.
falls to me to tell you what Mono is, and luckily,
Four
AniList,
scored 7 years ago.
luckily, AniList has a synopsis.
Is it a good one though?
That I will read. Oh, it's a wonderful synopsis that I'm going to read for the first time right now.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just to be clear, this is from the creator of Laid Back Camp. That is Afro is their name, which is just a wonderful name. Afro. Great name for a mangaka.
Mm-hmm.
The photography club is in danger of shutting down. The cinema club too. Fret not, for they shall merge and become the Cinephoto Club. Yeah. Now club members
Whoa.
Satsuki, On, and Sakurako, yeah, are asked to be the main characters for manga artist Haruno's latest work that's centered around action cameras. How meta. The girls head out to capture the lovely sights of Japan, experimenting with gadgets beyond photography and filming equipment, and of course, chomping on the local delicacies along the way. You've seen Yuru Camp. You know all about this. They eat food and they go to hot springs
Places.
and they go places. It's a travel manga. It's a 4-koma manga as well, which I think is our first foray into 4-koma.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So that's what it's about. That's its background info. It's about photography, but not really. But kind
Is
of.
it though?
Kind of is, but not really. But maybe
we'll
a
get
little
to
bit. Like I said, it's more of a travel manga. It's what's the term? Comfy.
Iyashike.
Yashike.
Yashike. Thank you.
Definitely a cute girls doing cute things as well.
Cute girls doing
Very
cute
much so.
things. Yashike. There's a cat. Everybody likes cats.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's not true.
Was going to be
but I
the
do.
main character.
Yep. If
Cat
you
was gonna
enjoy
be-
meta as well, it's quite
Yes.
meta.
Yeah.
It's quite
It
meta.
is quite meta.
Yeah.
For comparisons and recommendations, though, I think that's where we should go from here. Mike,
Mhm.
you did share your recommendation, your comparison with us. What was that?
Hi. Well, I mean, the obvious one, which I feel like we can't take because it's just too obvious,
Yeah.
is Laid Back Camp. Because this,
Yeah.
we'll get into it, but like, obviously, if you like Laid Back Camp, I would say there's a really good check this out. If you're a huge fan of Laid Back Camp, this is sort of like a sequel or a side story, almost. I would say,
yeah, it's
bordering
like
on a side
spin-off.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
borderline spin-off. Yeah.
But the one I actually came up with, I'm trying to remember what I actually came up with, but I'm pretty sure I went with A Place Further Than the Universe.
You went
Yes,
with
I
Place
did.
Further Than
That was
the
the one I
Universe,
shared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I just kind of, I don't delve deep into the cute girls doing cute things genre often. And that's probably one of the only ones I can really think of that really actually captures the travel aspect with the like high school girls in a club aspect all in one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of that's maybe I'm not that familiar with the genre that much, and you guys I suspect you guys are gonna have better ones than that, but I that's the one I came up with. So.
Yeah. Jay, do you have a better one than that?
I guess. I feel like this one's also a bit of a cop out because it's like it's one that's kind of compared very closely to Laid Back Camp, and that's No Non Biori. Just like another cute girls doing cute things manga about like traveling and comf and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my better one than Mike's was again, like, I'm not a big 4-koma guy, so like the immediate 4-koma I think of is Bocchi the Rock. So I guess Bocchi the Rock, like similar humor, I would say, which is just kind of how the jokes are told in a 4-koma.
Yeah,
another one
I like that.
Yeah, another one that comes up would be K-On!, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
Similar, but I wanted to go with something a little bit different. So I went Bocchi the Rock.
I had another one, and like I think you guys should like I probably need to sell this one a bit more. But
Okay.
that's City. where like it's a manga by the same creator as another another well-known series that like is kind of like very much the same as that more popular
the previous one.
Yeah, that is
also getting an anime adaptation in 2025.
Yeah.
So appropriate. Yeah, I get that too. Similar humor as well. I mean, City is much more absurdist than this is.
Yes,
like this is pretty realistic and down to earth.
Yeah,
but
a lot more down to earth in its humor.
But it kind of captures the same vibe. It has a similar vibe. I do agree with that. And like I think it's a good recommendation. Like if you like these two things, because this manga is quite silly, I would say.
Yeah. Like it's very Yuru camp. It's very Like again, like that's the obvious one, the lazy pick.
Right.
But similar senses of humor. Clearly, I mean, it makes sense. It's written by the same person.
Yeah.
So
if I could like kind of just quickly throw out another, like this is sort of not really a recommendation, but like I felt like with this one, because it's the 4 comma format, it felt very like, it kept reminding me of like reading like Calvin Hobbes as a kid, just because like the little like bits are paced so quickly and they're paced as like a comics, like it's more comic strip feeling to me. Like I feel like it hits closer to an old, like a newspaper comic strip to me.
Sure. Going off of that, my favorite comic as a kid, Garfield, I guess.
Yeah, you know, like it just
4 panels, like tells a little joke. I mean, this is a bit more like, you know, like, yes, it's a strip, but like it moves on to the next strip and so on
I was going to talk a little bit about that, and I guess we're kind of going into the first point here,
which is
what are our thoughts on 4 comma manga? But a lot of 4 comma manga are like what Cole was suggesting, and Mike too, where it's like it has like one little story, and then in like the 4 panels, and then like the next page is another story, but it's still like the same chapter.
It continues. Yeah. It continues the story. Yeah, it's. I like that I've never, like, I'm not a big 4 comma guy, right? Like my first foray into 4 comma is Bocchi the Rock as a manga. But I like that this manga like explained to me what a 4 comma is, like how it works, how the 4th panel is like the punchline to the joke.
Yeah.
And that made me like kind of appreciate how it works a little bit more. Okay, now I know like the 4th panel is going to be like the joke. Like that's the payoff to this little story.
I think is fairly similar to like Western comics. I think it's been a long time since I've read one, to be honest with you, but like
yeah, agreed. It's the thing though with like a Western comic, like the funnies, you know, you open up the newspaper, you read Garfield, you read Calvin and Hobbes, is like they're not continuations. They're specifically designed to be put in a newspaper. And the books that we get, the Calvin and Hobbes books, the big Garfield books that we used to get, those were just compilations of all of those.
That's what 4 comma normally is.
Right? But like
what I liked about Mono though is like it does that kind of where like it'll have the punchline at the end of each strip, but like each chapter is like also pretty self-contained, where each 4 comma strip comes together into one cohesive story. So you can enjoy it in both ways.
Yeah. In fact, I almost thought like this specific one, like I feel like it was a good introduction to 4 comma a little bit, because it does have that continuation thing. And I will say, like when I was reading Calvin and Hobbes, I only read it in like the compilation books, and they do have ones that like extend for multiple things. But like it was, like you said, normally it's just like a one and done kind of thing, like Gilbert. Ugh.
Yeah. We don't talk about Dilbert.
We don't talk about Dilbert.
That guy's not cool.
No, terrible.
Family Circus, let's say that. But that's just a single panel usually. Which is interesting, actually.
That's a kind of a crazy format too.
A crazy format, like very like stripped down. This is it. It's one panel.
One picture. You got one panel. Figure it out.
Not a big Family Circus guy, but
it's like those political comics that are just like one page.
Yeah.
Like one panel, and that's it.
Stripped down to the bare necessities. Yeah. No, that's what I mean. Like you got to appreciate it for being able to do that, even though it's most of the time not funny.
But I will. Yeah, I know exactly. I will say, most of the time it's like funny and like I get it. That's a clever little poke. but it's not like a ha-ha.
Ha, ha, ha.
I will say with this one, I do feel like it almost would have benefited from not being a 4 coma. I didn't not enjoy the 4 coma structure, but I felt like it was just always having to do a punchline for every 4 panels. Every fourth panel had to be a punchline, it felt like. And it was just like, I feel like some of these could have been 6 panels maybe. And you
can definitely feel like this was like an experiment for Afro. Like they were the mangaka in the manga was told that they should do a 4 coma, and that was kind of autobiographical for Afro as well. It's like, okay, I want to try making a 4 coma because Yuru Camp is not a 4 coma. It's a straight ahead.
I was going to
manga.
ask that. Yeah.
Jay, sorry, you were going to say something.
Oh yeah. I just gonna say one thing real quick, and then we'll move into the next topic. This manga is kind of like, I don't think either of you have seen it yet, but Zatsutabi that's airing this season, which is about a mangaka that's like trying and failing to publish a manga.
Okay. I haven't seen that, but I have seen Uma Musume, Cinderella Grey. Is that? Can we get on that lane?
No, we can't.
No,
let's get out of that. Let's get back in the lane. Jay,
are you sure?
Cole, I promise.
Are you sure?
Cole, I promise you, we'll talk about Cinderella Grey and gush about it when we get into the seasonal check-in.
Yeah. I do think Jay has a good point here though, because that's Zatsutabi. See, when I was checking out the shows for this season, that one seemed to be basically a travel show. That was like it almost fell into the camp of like, this is like barely a story. It's just an excuse to show the places the mangaka has been.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. And kind of that meta.
And that meta thing. Yeah.
Zatsutabi is like literally autobiographical. That is like the main character is the mangaka, where this is, if you've seen The Wind Rises from Studio Ghibli, kind of like that. Like he's using.
It's like a very thin veil.
It's like a meta. It's a meta thing.
Yeah. Or
this isn't me.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. Yeah.
But that leads us into our next point. Do we think episode 1 of Mono is out? Do we think that the adaptation is a good adaptation? Do we think it's better than the manga, maybe? How do we feel about this adaptation of Mono?
Well, have either of you watched the first episode of Mono?
Hi. Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, it wasn't
I
just
watched
me.
it specifically because I wanted to ask the question. I was like, I feel like it'd be a good little thing to quickly touch on, because it's the first episode's out. How do we feel like it did? Yeah.
Now, Mike, you've watched it. I've watched the first episode of Mono, and of course, Jay, you've also watched the first episode of Mono.
I'm like right up in that first episode of Mono.
To be clear, Jay has not watched the first episode of Mono, which is fine.
I see.
It wasn't a required viewing. I just wanted to throw Jay under the bus. That's what I'm.
I actually kind of like that, because it's. I know we always do the bit of like, let's have one guy not watch it or whatever. But like, it actually kind of it adds like another viewpoint of someone.
Well, like I can look at it from a speculative point of view.
That's what I was going to say. Rather than before Mike and I get into it, Jay, do you think this would?
Honestly, like I think it would do a lot better, just because like I think the slice of life aspect would kind of flow better, and like there were points in the manga. Like there's this one part where they take like a time lapse and then they show it after, and I feel like that would be really good in anime form, where it like doesn't really translate as well in manga because it would just show like different panels of it happening.
What I will say about the time lapse thing, I do really like the utilization. Yes, it's a 4 coma, but sometimes it does the Junji Ito of like the reveal on the page turn, and it does that well. I like that.
Yeah.
But we're going to kind of talk about that maybe a little bit later. Mike, you and I both watched the first episode. Do you think that Jay's speculation is valid? Do you think that this works as an anime?
I think Jay has shown his prowess as an anime podcaster, and I think he's kind of nailed it. I think this works better as an anime, honestly, because like I said earlier, with the 4 comma structure, it's so rigid that it's sort of, it has to follow that structure exactly, and it kind of holds it back a little bit. Whereas when you made it into an anime, they got some freedom, and specifically, it's funny Jay mentioned it. Specifically, there's the scene where they do the time lapse of the city or whatever. They kind of took some liberties there and like paused for a minute and let's just kind of just expand on that scene. Let's have the time lapse actually like play out, and let's have them fiddle with the camera a little more and stuff like that. And it just kind of it breathed a little more life into it that I thought it really needed. And I don't know if you agree with me on that, Cole, but I felt like it worked a lot better. And it actually is like fairly, I would say it's fairly true. It's a fairly faithful adaptation as well so far.
Yeah,
one
I
episode
agree.
in, obviously, but
again, like maybe one of my critiques of this manga is that you can almost tell that this is like Afro's first foray into making a 4-koma, where they're a little too rigid with that structuring, where somebody else may kind of play with that a little bit more, where she or he, I don't know if it's what they're they're kind of being a little too rigid, perhaps. And I'm not super familiar with 4-koma. Maybe that is like a hard and fast rule you must focus on. But that's because I know this is their first foray into it. That's maybe something that's just stuck in my head, where I think maybe you're being a little too hard and fast with that rule.
Yeah, I think like it more felt like, and this is probably what you were getting at, Cole, they were restricted by it being a 4-koma manga.
Yeah.
And they couldn't really like flesh out what they wanted to, maybe with that they could have with a regular manga.
Yeah. I am curious to see like how this evolves, like if they become more proficient in the 4-koma format, or if it just kind of sticks with what it is. I'm fine, I guess. Like, I'm fine with what this is, right? It is what it is, and it does it serviceably. It's just like, I feel like that's kind of a crutch or a hampering on the storytelling.
It's kind of it's like you have the story in this like rigid cage, and it kind of unless you know how to like work with the cage, you're kind of it's just a cage, you know.
Yeah, I want to see it release from the cage. Yeah, I want to see it. Like, there's this anime that's out right now. It's called Rock is a Lady's Modesty, and there's this metaphor of a bird coming out of its cage. I want the bird to be released from the cage.
What a crazy and original metaphor for liberation. A bird coming out of its cage.
Yeah. Have you seen Uma Musume, Cinderella Girl?
But like, we're talking about the 4-koma. We've talked about the anime, why it might work better.
Yeah.
Do you guys? So obviously, this is supposed to be a funny manga, right?
Yeah.
And every fourth panel is supposed to be a punchline. So do you guys find this one funny? Like, did the humor work for you? It's super meta is the first thing I would say.
Yeah, agreed.
Meta.
Agreed. I would also say that. It's a very meta manga. I feel like the humor, like, because it has to tell a joke every 4 panels, obviously sometimes those aren't going to hit.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I feel like the charm of the manga comes through. The charm of Afro comes through, and if you like Yuru Camp, you like that sense of charm that you still get with this. I feel like I like the humor. I don't like that it needs to be set every 4 panels. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I felt like the humor was, I wouldn't say this was funny, but I would say it was like humorous. Like, it was kind of, I was reading it and I don't know that I probably had a little smirk on my face as I was reading it, is what I would say. I didn't chuckle. I didn't hee-haw. I didn't ho-hum or anything, but I was kind of just like,
That's what I mean about the charm, I think. Like, it's not like you're not rolling on the ground laughing at it, but you appreciate the sense of humor, I guess.
Yeah.
The sense of humor.
Like, I never found myself...
What's that smell? Humor?
Yeah, I never felt myself, like, laughing at it. But, like, I'd like smile and I'd be like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's kind of
exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the political cartoons where it's like, it's not really funny, but you get a little joy out of it.
Yeah.
You're like, I get it.
I get it. Yeah.
I get what you're going for.
She really can't drive. That's funny.
Yeah. Again, it's like, I appreciate it for what it is in this format. I'm not, if I want just pure humor, like, again, Bocchi the Rock, I think, is like a better 4-koma manga. And I don't know, I can't quite articulate why. It's just funnier. It's just genuinely a funnier
Or
manga.
even something like City, which we compared it
Yeah.
to, I'd say is funnier. And like City, I kind of feel is funnier just because like its jokes come flying a mile a minute. That like even if you're
Yeah.
not laughing at one, you're gonna laugh at the next one.
You're gonna laugh at the next one. Now, this all being said, of course, humor is subjective. Like you may get more out of it than we did, but we're all jaded. Jay did.
Yeah.
And
I'm the most jaded.
it
Very.
warmed my
That's why
heart,
my name
but
is
it didn't. It warmed my heart, but it didn't
Yeah.
set it ablaze, I guess.
It didn't melt
Yeah.
the ice, but like it.
It made the ice slippery.
I would say
Yeah.
it didn't not work, but it
Mhm.
definitely didn't hit like a home run, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
It's a
feel like
solid double.
yeah, it was a solid bunt. It bunted.
It was a good bunt.
It was a good bunt. Yeah. But I feel like the reason why it kind of didn't hit it out of the park for me is it felt like for this, it was almost like it was so busy being so meta and self-referential to like Laid Back Camp and the author that it almost was like it kind of detracted from the story and also a little bit of the humor a little bit.
Yeah.
And did you guys kind of feel that way? Because it seems like with this one, you really have to like know Laid Back Camp and almost have to be a fan of Laid Back Camp
A
to get
little bit. I think
enjoyment.
I
Go
think
ahead,
for
Jay.
me, it just kind of like it felt like it lost a little bit of its identity by leaning a bit too much into the Eurocamp. I don't want to say nostalgia because it hasn't really been that long since Eurocamp came out, but like that, like, hey, you like that, like fan service, I guess. Of like,
we
hey,
know why you're here.
You like Eurocamp?
Yeah.
The word I
Yeah.
want to use is like it felt a little wankery, where it's like,
Pandery?
oh, like like, oh, you like my other thing that was really successful, don't you?
Mhm.
Well, here's a reference to it.
Yeah.
I would say like I don't feel like I don't feel like that's a crutch. Like when I saw the Eurocamp references, I felt like they were just nice kind of Easter eggs for the people who do know it. I don't feel like you need to know of Eurocamp to get
I don't
that.
think you need to know.
Yeah.
Like
I just
there's
feel
only
like I just feel like it was a little bit too heavy-handed on those
Yes.
Easter eggs.
sometimes,
Nailed it,
but because we know of it, right? Like I'm trying to put myself in a sense where like if I didn't know Eurocamp, but at the same time, like one of the gags is literally like reliant on you understanding that one of the characters from Eurocamp is a glutton.
Yeah,
And-
or like one of the chapters is like they just go on a trip to where one of the manga or where the
Which
manga
I-
takes place in
That was like a lengthy
thing.
quote unquote arc in this. Was just
Yeah.
like basically let's go like just redraw Eurocamp stuff.
Which was super, super weird because they're like referencing this manga in universe, but the characters in Eurocamp are also like make appearances, background character appearances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see a quick shot of Shimarine, of course, lover. And then,
Oh, I missed that. I didn't see that.
It was like one panel. You see
Yeah.
her on her
Okay.
bike.
It's like a blink Remus kind of thing.
And then,
Yeah.
another one is like a payoff to a joke is that Nadeshiko does something. And of course she would. But it's like, but I thought you guys were like referencing the manga that they were in, but here it is. Yeah, it's very meta. It's very meta,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I guess kind of gives it that excuse to be meta. Like, oh, we're just being meta.
Yeah, it just
Nothing
kinda-
matters.
Yeah, that it just felt like it was like the author is like, I know you're here because you enjoyed Laid Back Camp.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make use of that.
Yeah.
Make use of that.
Which, as an aside, because there's Eurocamp characters in this, Jay and I talked about it off air. Like, I wonder how they're going to do this in the anime. Can they have
They
Nadeshiko
must
in?
be able to.
I
Is it the
think
same studio?
probably.
I don't know if
No,
I
it's
actually
not
don't
the
know.
same studio. But
No.
I think there's another anime that has like the girls from Bocchi the Rock in it as well, just as like background characters playing on a stage.
I'm sure
So
they will
I
be able
think,
to.
I think you can. I mean, it's the same mangaka and the same
Yeah.
publishing company, I think. So
if it's the same
maybe-
publishing company, then it's fine.
Then
It'll
it should be
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Should be fine.
Then I'm looking forward to that. I hope they get the same voice actor too. That'll
That'll be
that'll make me happy.
Cole will get a little tickle. He'll get a little
Yeah.
joy out of that one.
Yeah.
Good segue though, Cole. The next one is how do we feel about the characters?
The
You segued and you didn't even
characters.
know it, or maybe
Ah.
you did. I don't know.
Of course I did. How do we feel about the characters? Well, interesting. I don't know. The characters are kind of like an aside in this. Like, of course, there's the mangaka character who I feel is like the main character, but isn't the main character. She feels
Afro.
like
she's Afro.
Yeah, she feels like the like poster child of it. Her and the cat, because she is like cat-like as well.
Yeah.
Like obviously the mascot character is what's the cat's name? Taisho, who is this whimsical cat who goes off on adventures, and they keep bumping into him. Meanwhile, they're very, very far away from home. And then the owner of the cat is the mangaka Haruno. The girls are all kind of interchangeable.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the characters in this manga are kind of more vehicles to show the subject matter of the manga rather than.
I will say, like, I don't dislike the characters. They're all just kind of there.
Yeah.
Like the main girl and her friend, like the original two members of the photography club, are very much like Jay said. They're just kind of there and they're interchangeable. But like the film study girl is like kind of unique, I guess, in the sense that she's like this weird girl, but not like, at least she's different, you know?
Yeah, she's
and
not,
then there's
like,
the motorcycle girl.
The thing I'll say about these characters is, like, unlike Eurocamp, where like I could see one of us buying a figure of those characters.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us, and correct me if I'm wrong, would be buying a figure of any of these characters. Maybe
they're
the
a little
mangaka, but like
I feel like the nature of the 4 it's more focused on getting the joke out than it is diving into the backstory of the characters and stuff. So you kind of have a hard time like relating to them, or like kind of like you don't really know a lot about them. So they're just kind of like generic high school girl, right? So it's like I agree with what Cole said though, where like it really feels like the mangaka. I don't know the name, bad with the names. The mangaka does really feel like the main character.
Yeah.
And like the girls are kind of just along for the ride almost.
Yeah. And I feel like the mangaka character does have the most like personality as well. Like I like her. Her. Like if if we did the, you know, classic best girl, she'd probably be mine. Because she's fun. She's like stressed out all the time, but she's super laid back at the same time. There's glimmers of good, genuinely good. Not that I dislike
glimmers
this,
of intrigue behind these characters, but like we just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah,
it does seem like the anime, with its little bit more fleshed out stuff in the first episode, it does seem like they kind of give a little more life to the characters as well too, which I felt made me feel like I understood them a little better. So.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. I think the moral of this story, if you have any interest in the manga, go watch the anime.
I think the anime is going to be better than the manga. But this is so Laid Back Camp was all about camping.
Yeah.
This is Laid Back Camp 2 Electric Photography Boogaloo. So obvious, like.
Listen, when I watched Yuru Camp, I legit tried making some of the stuff that they made in Yuru Camp. Legitimately, because it's pseudo educational.
And would you say that this so like Laid Back Camp has lots of good tips and facts about camping, right? Did you feel that Mono had the same level of knowledge about photography? Do you feel like it was even remotely how about photography is this manga even, do you guys feel? Because I feel like this was barely about photography.
No.
No. Like I feel like there were some like little aside things that it'll say about photography, but it's like very like random and like like an aside thing.
I think it's because the photography that they do in it, and I give it credit for this. Like we watched Vijay, you and I watched. Actually, I shouldn't just assume you did. What was the one about astrophotography? Insomniacs After School. Thank you. Where like that was very into photography, traditional photography in the sense of doing astrophotography with a regular DSLR camera. This is much more about like photography using
Higher tech.
unique, interesting uses of different types of cameras.
Yeah.
There's no DSLR cameras here. They don't even really use phone cameras.
Yeah.
The big thing is the like panoramic 3D camera that they use often in this.
Yeah.
Which I give it credit for. Like it's trying to be unique in that sense. But basically its photography tips are put it on a tripod and press the button and let it take its picture.
Yeah, pretty well. And like there's different cameras you can get that are pretty cool as the other.
Yeah.
I'm guessing probably the reason for what we've all just said here is I'm guessing Afro. Not Astro. I'm guessing Afro knows a lot more about camping than they do about photography. It's probably the real reason why we're here, but
probably, and has a bit more of a interest in photography and travel. Obviously, because a lot of this manga is a travel manga. We talked about it.
It is for sure.
Which unfortunately means that it kind of double dips in Yuru Camp. Like they go to hot springs constantly, and they even address it in the manga. They're like, why do characters in mangas always just go to hot springs? And you can't just because you said it doesn't mean it's okay.
And like,
but it's fine.
It also
it's
kind of tries to be multiple things, because like it starts off much more into the photography thing than the latter chapters that we read, and it just kind of abandons that and goes like, let's just be Eurocamp again.
Yeah. That's kind of the vibe I got. I was like, oh, okay. Like you had the idea at the beginning, this is gonna be like a photography about the girls, and then you kind of Afro sort of just put themselves in it, and they're like, this is gonna be about like Eurocamp now.
Which it's Eurocamp with another hat, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of
Eurocamp's got its camping hat, and this one's like, here, I'll take this off, and we'll just
here's another
photography
funny hat.
hat. Yeah.
But it's also like not really a photography hat. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard
adjacent.
to say. Yeah,
like the traveling aspect of Eurocamp works better because like camping is traveling, right?
Yeah.
But the photography aspect of it, yes, of course, you can travel for photography, of course, but it just doesn't. They don't meld as well. Like the gears kind of grind a little bit more in that. In that aspect.
Weirdly though, like you'd think, because photography and travel do in real life go hand in hand, so you'd think it would work a little better, but it did feel clunky. This one felt clunky to me.
I think it's also because like it then tried to throw in the like the mangaka is trying to write a manga aspect, and like it's like, well, how do I throw that in as well?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That kind of it just again it muddied the water a little bit, where it's kind of like I don't see what this is trying to do anymore. And
it had no clear direction.
For sure. Yeah, that's exactly what I would say. But we do know that photography and videography is supposed to be the main point of this, right? Do you guys feel like the landscape art and just the art, I guess like the pictures of the landscapes that they're taking, do you think that they were done justice in the art in this?
I kind of addressed this earlier when I said we'd talk about it a little bit. I give it credit for its page turn reveals. I like them. When you turn the page after they've taken a photo and there's a big panoramic shot of what they took a photo of. Yeah, it works. It works. I'm certainly not going to give it negative points for doing that. I think it was one of the best parts of it. Maybe just that kind of like the reveal. It's nice. Yeah,
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah. What do you think though, Jay?
I think it was not bad. I would say serviceable. Like none of the pictures ever like blew me away or anything. It was like, look at this, which like, I guess someone could take points away from that because like, when you look at like those like landscape pictures, normally you'll be like, ooh, that's beautiful or something like that. But at the same time, like it works for what it's trying to do. Like it's not bad. It's just kind of like, yep, that's a landscape shot.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. I think you kind of nailed it again, Jay. You're nailing it this episode. I think
doing great.
Yeah, I think it was very serviceable would be a great word for it. Like you said, where it's like it it doesn't look bad by any stretch.
Mhm.
But it's not like when you like flip I can't help but think of like when you flip the page in like Berserk or Witch Hat or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
Well, there's
That's-
levels to this, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, this mangaka is a cute girl doing cute thing mangaka,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And their art isn't on that same level as a
No.
Berserk or as a Witch Hat Atelier or
Mm-hmm.
I said Junji Ito as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really read the manga for Yuru Camp, so like it could be the same thing there, where the anime again is able to do justice to what it's trying to do in the manga.
What I was gonna say too is like
Yeah.
again going back to like Jay said with the time lapse shot.
Mm-hmm.
The panel in the manga is like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, nice.
But
yeah,
they took like 20 seconds to actually show the time lapse go in the anime, and it looked a lot better. It looked a lot prettier. You kind of you got the impact of it. Especially you know what, I'm thinking about it more now, and I'm thinking it's because this one bills itself as a photography manga. It's really more of a videography / like it's all of its photography is like motion photography or like it's not really you know like there's
the other
motion
aspect
elevates it.
The other aspect that this, and unfortunately this is just an aspect of manga in general, there's no color, right? So you're missing like a pretty crucial aspect of getting that reveal. You can really only interpret the lighting, I guess, the lighting and the actual structure of the photo itself, but you're not getting those like, you know, the colors and all of that, where in the anime you do get more of it, and it's more impactful in the anime, I think.
Yeah.
One episode in, we should clarify once more.
One episode in, and I did like the reveals in the manga as well. It's just of course I have to be critical of it.
Yep, I have the same criticism too. I felt like it was just the format of the 4-koma with everything and all that. It just kind of again held it back. It was just like we can't possibly fit a beautiful landscape, and I can't draw one either. So it's fine.
They can, like, they did a good job. I'm not going to say like the art was bad.
The art's not bad by any stretch.
No, it was just you know, you see, we're spoiled sometimes with other manga that can do this.
Yes.
Like
I've seen
incredibly.
the heights. I've seen the incredible heights.
Yeah. Like I said, there's levels to this, and this is
as well.
This is on a lower level than those big, you know, Berserk panels where everything is just drawn with hyper detail.
Yeah.
Oh God, I need to read. I'm gonna reread.
Yeah, it's started. It's going again. Berserk's going again.
Yeah.
Should we reveal our final thoughts and ratings, do you think?
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Well, I'm going to flip a coin here, and it lands on Jay's head. So, Jay, you go first.
Yeah.
Lands on the brim of his hat.
Yeah.
I thought that this was a very fun manga that, like, is very, very reminiscent of Eurocamp, and if that's the thing that you enjoy, you will get some enjoyment out of it, but it might also make you feel like kind of want to go check out Eurocamp again. But if you're like, I want something new that isn't Eurocamp, it will be like new content that has that same flavor, but it might be a bit watered down, I'd say. And it's mostly held back by it being a 4-koma manga. It having characters that like aren't as iconic as Shimarin or pink-haired girl, I forget her name, Yadashiko, I think it is. Nadeshiko. Yeah. But
how dare you? Not Bochi.
Not Bochi, yeah. But like, yeah, I think this is still a solid read, though. From what I've heard and from what I speculate, the anime is probably going to be a better experience for this specific thing. All that said, if someone came up to me and said, Jay, look, I'm looking at this mono thing and I love Eurocamp, should I check it out? I'd say, yeah, you should consider it.
Nice. See what he did there? He nice flow.
That was a good one, Jay. Jay's had a good episode today.
He's on his game today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I could tell.
Thank you.
It's that Easter spirit filling him with the holy vibes.
Jesus has blessed me today.
He's risen. Jay has risen. I guess that leaves it to me because the nominator goes last.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is beautiful because then you get to
I love
take
it.
easy. Yeah, it's good. I'm going to echo a lot of what Jay said because I feel like we all had very similar thoughts on this one. And really, with only one volume really out available for reading, there's not a ton to dig deep into. Oh, it's behind you there, Cole. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. I did feel that the format of it is just maybe not for me. I didn't really enjoy the 4-comma structure that much, but I could see people enjoying it. I think maybe it's tough for maybe the Western viewer to enjoy as much as manga coming from manga. And I think that will hold it back for a lot of people. I do think that this manga functions best, and it pretty well is essentially just DLC for laid back cap. So
that's actually a really good way to put it.
That's a good way of putting it.
It's kind of like, oh, here's some more stuff kind of related tangentially to that. Here, you'll enjoy it, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as someone who tangentially enjoys laid back cap, such as me, I think that it's good enough and the charm is still there and it shines through, even though it does kind of pull on its own string a little bit by referencing laid back cap constantly and having the mangaka as pretty much the main character of the thing. I think the charm is enough there that it's going to be enjoyable for most people and anyone who likes like this slice of life, cute girls doing cute things, like that genre of laid back cap and all that stuff. You're going to at least enjoy it. Ooh, this is the tough part where I actually say what I rate it. I'm going to say I'd consider it as well. I think it's tickling the would have dropped line.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about giving it a Y just because, like, why make a manga where you're just referencing your other... You know what? Just for funny bits. I'm going to say Y. Because why make a manga where all you do is just reference your other successful manga? What's the point of that?
Let's go! Being funny!
Yeah, that's our first Y, I think. But whatever. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Appropriate, though. Appropriate. Is it our first Y? Because we did review Berserk.
No, we did Berserk 2016.
Oh, we did Berserk. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. First manga Y.
Yeah,
I think.
Of course, moving into my final thoughts and my rating, the prerequisite is that I state it's wonderful going last because you guys have said everything. What more could I possibly say? This was a nice, I guess, the word I would use to describe the reading experience is this was a nice soft manga. This was a nice, not a difficult read. It was nice and short. Oh, it's nice doing a manga where there's only one volume out. We only read 17 chapters of it. So we did read a couple chapters into volume 2 because we have ways of doing that. I have the first volume. I read the first volume on paper like a civilized human being. The other thing I will say about 4-comma is sometimes it's difficult to read on a screen on my phone. I've really got to zoom in. I do that even. I do that even with Bocchi the Rock. I've got to zoom in on them to read the new chapters.
One of the chapters I read was presented they had because you know how on the screen in the 4-comma they have it, one side is one page will be the one thing. There was one that was like in webtoon format for one. I think it was chapter 18 or something.
Oh no!
And it was web or manhwa format where it like scrolled
webtoon.
vertically.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is glorious. This actually like works so much better.
Oh, it works. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would have thought
it
wouldn't work. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, what more could I possibly say? I think I'm a little bit higher on it than you guys are. That being said, I would also say consider it. Tickles my jimmies, I think. Okay. So kind of the opposite of where Mike fell on it before he said why. I would also say, like, I don't know if I'll continue reading it, though, to be honest. Yeah. The anime's coming out. I like what this is, but I think the anime is more intriguing to me than the 4-comma structure is. So I would say consider it. I would say consider it more. I would say tickles my jimmies even for the anime. I think
I'm glad we watched. I'm glad we at least have some takes. I'm glad that we reviewed this after watching an episode of the anime, because I feel like we'd be a little more negative on it if we didn't see the vision, you know?
Yeah, exactly. The potential of it is more realized, I think, in the anime. And again, nothing against the manga. I enjoyed my experience with the manga. I would consider continuing.
The manga feels a lot like a pilot, to where the anime is like the like
maybe
interesting.
Realized version of it.
Yeah, interesting.
We'll see where it goes. Because it, it's an interesting.
It's quite early in its release as well too. Yeah. So who knows?
But hey,
could turn into
what
Berserk.
did you, the listener, think of this lovely manga called Mono? Let us know either in the comments down below or on our Discord at AniProPod. Links to everything will be on our website at AniProPod. There we go.
Yeah, or in the description.
Yeah. We also have other reviews coming up. Cole, do you want to let us know what those reviews are? Of
course. This is part of my job. Yeah. Our next manga review is Gachi Akuta.
Okay. He's getting better at this. You guys
getting better. He's trying.
Okay. I did it. Good job. And then our next manga review after that is The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. That's actually tougher than the other one.
It's girthy, that title.
Mike, you just deleted it. Our next anime, it said, was Uma Musume, but I guess not.
It's not, though.
Our next anime review is going to be Kids on the Slope, which I think is next week. We're kind of catching up.
Correct.
We're kind of catching up on our reviews now that Mike's back from Nihon. Listener's Choice poll is up, and you can go vote now. The options would be Beyond the Boundary, Log Horizon, and Aria, the animation.
This is true. I did the math.
Did the math. He read the manga. He checked with the...
I checked the scriptures.
Checked the scriptures. He spoke to the burning bush, and it told him that
Let
Beyond the Boundary,
people go.
Log Horizon, Aria, the animation, and Let My People Go. So go and vote for that, whether you want to watch any one of those three, or if you want to let Jay's people go. That is also an option. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of AniPro. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend about us. All of that really helps out the show. If you really like us, though, you can consider supporting us on Patreon. That helps out the show even more. You could be like these lovely people: Mr. Family Guy 36, Elijah Wood, Braindead, B-Dog, Peach, Frama, Kratos, Just Juzz, Mog, and Uncle of Light. By supporting us on Patreon, you got access to all sorts of perks, and it really helps the show out. I already said that, but it's in the script, so I have to say it again. We're also on social media at AniProPod, and please join our Discord community to keep up with us and other listeners. Links to everything is in the description or at our website, AniProPod.com. Mike, you did it last week so kindly from Japan. Thank you for leading us in a round of bye-byes. But this time, Jay, it's your turn to lead us in a round of bye-byes. So
this
take
is
it away,
true.
Jay.
Well, the manga we read is called Mono, but instead of being alone, let's say it all together.
3,
as we do at the end of every episode.
This is a wonderful test of latency.
Okay, ready?
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Bye.
We'll see how that worked out.
Bye.